Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. You see things, and you say, "Why?" But I dream things that never were, and I say, "Why not?" There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire, the other is to gain it. A gentleman is one who puts more into the world than he takes out. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. The worst sin towards our fellow creatures is not to hate them, but to be indifferent to them. That's the essence of inhumanity. Freedom means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. Democracy is a device that ensures we shall be governed no better than we deserve. I learned it long ago, never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last, you create what you will. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Do not do unto others as you would that they should do unto you. Their taste may not be the same. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. All great truths began as blasphemies. Youth is a wonderful thing. What a crime to waste it on children. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. Power does not corrupt men. Fools, however, if they get into a position of power, corrupt power. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Marriage is an alliance entered into by a man who can't sleep with the window shut, and a woman who can't sleep with the window open. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. My way of joking is to tell the truth. It's the funniest joke in the world. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. If history repeats itself, and the unexpected always happens, how incapable must man be of learning from experience? Patriotism is fundamentally a conviction that a particular country is the best in the world because you were born in it. The art of government is the organization of idolatry. The only secrets are the secrets that keep themselves. People become attached to their burdens, sometimes more than the burdens are attached to them. Hatred is the coward's revenge for being intimidated. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. When a stupid man is doing something he is ashamed of, he always declares that it is his duty. Common sense is instinct, enough of it is genius. The only man I know who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew each time he sees me. The rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. There is no love sincerer than the love of food. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. Do not waste your time on social questions. What is the matter with the poor is poverty. What is the matter with the rich is uselessness. Silence is the most perfect expression of scorn. Lack of money is the root of all evil. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. A perpetual holiday is a good working definition of hell. The test of a man's or woman's breeding is how they behave in a quarrel. Every person who has mastered a profession is a skeptic concerning it. I am a sort of collector of religions. Life levels all men, death reveals the eminent. Without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. I never thought much of the courage of a lion tamer. Inside the cage he is at least safe from people. A miracle, my friend, is an event which creates faith. That is the purpose and nature of miracles. The heretic is always better company than the orthodox. It is the difference between having an original and having a copy. To be in hell is to drift, to be in heaven is to steer. Censorship ends in logical completeness when nobody is allowed to read any books except the books that nobody reads. All censorships exist to prevent anyone from challenging current conceptions and existing institutions. A man of great common sense and good taste is a man without originality or moral courage. Man can climb to the highest summits, but he cannot dwell there long. Men are wise in proportion, not to their experience, but to their capacity for experience. The problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and wiser people so full of doubts. We learn from experience that men never learn anything from experience. Liberty means responsibility. That is why most men dread it. First love is only a little foolishness and a lot of curiosity. Take care to get what you like, or you will be forced to like what you get. A blind man knows he cannot see and is glad to be led, though it be by a dog. But he that is blind in his understanding, which is the worst blindness of all, believes he sees as the best, and scorns a guide. My reputation grows with every failure. Political necessities sometimes turn out to be political mistakes. Some men see things as they are and ask why. Others dream things that never were and ask why not. The golden rule is that there are no golden rules. What we want is to see the child in pursuit of knowledge, and not knowledge in pursuit of the child. It is the mark of a truly intelligent person to be moved by statistics. Custom will reconcile people to any atrocity. The philosopher is nature's pilot, and there you have our difference. To be in hell is to drift, to be in heaven is to steer. A fashion is nothing but an induced epidemic. The most tragic thing in the world is a man of genius who is not a man of honor. Writing down is the best way to remember. Pause this video and comment below your favorite quotes. He knows nothing, and he thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. The worst thing about some men is that when they are not drunk, they are sober. There are no secrets better kept than the secrets everybody guesses. Criminals do not die by the hands of the law, they die by the hands of other men. The more things a man is ashamed of, the more respectable he is. Home is the girl's prison and the woman's workhouse. The only way to avoid being miserable is not to have enough leisure to wonder whether you are happy or not. Life does not cease to be funny, and people die any more than it ceases to be serious when people laugh. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends upon the unreasonable man. Independence, that's middle-class blasphemy. We are all dependent on one another, every soul of us on earth. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. There is nothing more dangerous than the conscience of a bigot. I often quote myself. It adds spice to my conversation. A fashion is merely a form of ugliness so unbearable that we are compelled to alter it every 6 months. There are 2 reasons why a man does anything, one that sounds good and a real one. If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh, otherwise they'll kill you. The things most people want to know about are usually none of their business. The greatest problem in communication is the illusion that it has been accomplished. The man with a toothache thinks everyone happy whose teeth are sound. The poverty-stricken man makes the same mistake about the rich man. Beware of the man who does not return your blow. He neither forgives you nor allows you to forgive yourself. The love of economy is the root of all virtue. Assassination is the extreme form of censorship. New opinions are always suspected and usually opposed without any other reason but because they are not already common. Virtue is insufficient temptation. What really flatters a man is that you think him worth flattering. The only man who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew each time he sees me. When a thing is funny, search it carefully for a hidden truth. All progress is initiated by challenging current conceptions and executed by supplanting existing institutions. No man ever believes that the Bible means what it says. He is always convinced that it says what he means. A man never tells you anything until you contradict him. Youth is wasted on the young. Martyrdom. The only way a man can become famous without ability. Do not try to live forever. You will not succeed. A little learning is a dangerous thing, But we must take that risk because a little is as much as our biggest heads can hold. We have no more right to consume happiness without producing it than to consume wealth without producing it. He who has never hoped can never despair. In this world there is always danger for those who are afraid of it. To be in love is merely to be in a state of perceptual anesthesia. Miracles, in the sense of phenomena we cannot explain, surround us on every hand. Life itself is the miracle of miracles. The art of being a slave is to rule one's master. Every dreamer knows that it is entirely possible to be homesick for a place you've never been to, perhaps more homesick than for familiar ground. I am not a teacher, but an awakener. One man that has a mind and knows it can always beat 10 men who haven't and don't. We have not lost faith, but we have transferred it from God to the medical profession. A miracle is an event which creates faith. That is the purpose and nature of miracles. Frauds deceive. An event which creates faith does not deceive. Therefore it is not a fraud, but a miracle. It is easy, terribly easy, to shake a man's faith in himself. To take advantage of that, to break a man's spirit, is devil's work. The only service a friend can really render is to keep up your courage by holding up to you a mirror in which you can see a noble image of yourself. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane, the pessimist the parachute. You'll never have a quiet world till you knock the patriotism out of the human race. A doctor's reputation is made by the number of eminent men who die under his care. Some look at things that are, and ask why. I dream of things that never were, and ask why not. Those who do not know how to live must make a merit of dying. A skeptic is a person who would ask God for his ID card. It's easier to replace a dead man than a good picture. I am an atheist, and I thank God for it. Never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it. War does not determine who is right, only who's left. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. The secret of being miserable is to have the leisure to bother about whether you are happy or not. Animals are my friends, ... and I don't eat my friends. When you see a thing clearly in your mind, your creative success mechanism within you takes over and does the job much better than you could do it by conscious effort or willpower. The test of a man or woman's breeding is how they behave in a quarrel. As long as I have a want, I have a reason for living. Satisfaction is death. I'm an atheist, and I thank God for it. The secret of success is to offend the greatest number of people. The only way to avoid being miserable is not to have enough leisure to wonder whether you are happy or not. Democracy substitutes election by the incompetent many for appointment by the corrupt few. Capitalism has destroyed our belief in any effective power but that of self-interest backed by force. There is only one religion, though there are 100 versions of it. The more I see of the moneyed classes, the more I understand the guillotine. Life is not meant to be easy, my child, but take courage. It can be delightful. People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Do not do unto others as you expect they should do unto you. Their taste may not be the same. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it.